All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I trust you all had a good filling lunch. And for everyone that is outside, still wondering whether we have started or not, may I request you to put your hands up, give a resounding applause so that everyone knows that we have started inside. Let's make some noise, everyone. And I hope that noise will drag more people in. Ladies and gentlemen, before I start this session, I would like to just check if we have our panelists in the house, though I'm not inviting you on the stage as yet. Our chair for this panel is Miss Nunana Addo. Ma'am, do we have you in the house? All right. Miss Nguyen, Thao, we have you here. Miss Cynthia, Niamoutie. Miss Cynthia. All right. And Miss Phan, all right. And Sothnita, Soeun. Well, gentlemen, do you see this? Trust all the women to be in the house and ready at the time of the session. So everyone, we shall start this session in a short while, but I would like to open this session, and as an introduction, all eyes on the screen as we present a short video to you on women empowerment through Prosper Cashew project by TechnoServe. Let's have a look and then I come back. Thank you, Mr. Vatsa, for all this lovely work that has been done under this project. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is said that if you want a measure of any society that you're looking at, look at the women. Look at where the women stand in that society, and that should give you a fair idea of where they are heading. As women gain power, barriers are dropped. And Cashew Women is a platform within a platform. So while we are all here for the World Cashew Congress, this is a very unique session where the women who are a part of the cashew value supply chain, the value chain, not only in terms of business, but also as instruments of change, get a voice. And that is why this is something much more than business. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about awareness, it's also about empathy, and it's also about the way forward. And that is why I absolutely look forward to the stellar lineup that I'm going to be inviting on stage now. I would like to start with inviting our sessions chair, Miss Nunana Addo of GIZ ComCashew. Let's make some noise for her as she joins us up here. Ms. Nunana Addo is a sectoral organization communications professional with about 9 years experience working in various positions in development, cooperation, with an emphasis on agricultural value chains. She has designed and successfully implemented strategic communication plans for engaging both internal and external audiences, specifically leading to the development of curricula on cashew and coordinated sector organizational activities. Nunana has a master's degree in communication in French and history from the University of Ghana and Université des Pays-Bas Normandie in France, and a second master's degree in organizational development. Our first speaker on this panel this afternoon shall be Ms. Nguyen Thao of HD Cashews Company Limited. Let's give her a round of applause as she joins us up here. Ms. Nguyen Thao has been working with HD Cashew Company Limited since 2016, right after graduating from the university. So that is where she's been getting all her hands-on experience and training. Our next speaker this afternoon on this panel is Ms. Cynthia Niamoutie of Cilagri-Cajou, a fervent advocate of Africa's potential to add value to its raw material and develop operational excellence. She has revolutionized the cashew nut processing system in Ivory Coast. And in less than 3 years, she has brilliantly led the company from 1,500 tons in 2019 to over 10,500 tons in 2022. Such a pleasure to have you here. The well-being and emancipation of women are promoted within her company, which employs over 550 people, 70% of whom are women. Next up, I would like to invite on stage the Communications Manager for Prosper Cashew TechnoServe, Ms. Marlyse Gakpa. Let's give her a round of applause. Our next speaker this afternoon shall be Ms. Phan from Vietnam. Let's give a round of applause. I'm so happy to see you in the color that you are in. We are twinning this afternoon. All right. Our next speaker, Ms. Sothnita Soeun, Cashew Nuts Association of Cambodia. Ms. Sothnita is a co-founder and head of business development for handcrafted cashew nuts Tang Treng, a social enterprise that promotes inclusive growth for rural communities. She is also a business assistant of Cashew Nuts of Cambodia. Additionally, of course, apart from her own professional roles as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I leave this session in the hands of our chair, ma'am. And as she takes this up, ladies and gentlemen, please be with us right till the very end of this session, because at the end of this session, you will get to witness a few very, very lasting and historical moments of World Cashew Conference 2024. Have a good one.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. So this has been actually advertised as a Cashew Women's Session, but then of course we have a theme that we would like to explore this afternoon. Before I invite our panelists to give us a short statement or more of an establishing statement, I would like to give us a bit of an insight on what we want to discuss this afternoon. So our theme that I would like to dwell on today is about promoting cashew kernel consumption in domestic markets. Now, I believe once I said that, the picture that came to mind was maybe white kernels, roasted kernels, salted, unsalted, because these are the regular things that we think about when we think of cashew kernels. But then, of course, we know that there are new products that are being developed on a daily basis from the cashew kernel. And I'm not even mentioning the cashew apple yet. So this afternoon, this is what we are going to explore. What are some of the products that are being developed from the cashew kernel? How are they being marketed on the domestic markets? Because then so far, our focus has been on the international markets. We know that India and China alone constitute about 46% of the world's consumption of cashew kernels. However, when we talk about Africa and other countries that are not necessarily major consumers of the kernel, they constitute together about 8.5%, and that's still very low. From earlier discussions or panels that we had today, it is clear that we have to begin to explore the topic of developing local consumption better, or developing our domestic markets even better. And of course, we are going to dwell more on the Asian continent and African continent here from the constitution that we have here in terms of our panelists. So, ladies and gentlemen, relax. Let's open our minds to learning. Of course, if there is time after our session, we'll open this up for questions from the audience. Now, when we talk about cashew kernel processing, usually we talk about how that women dominate this segment of the value chain, right? More than 80% of the workforce there are women. However, when it comes to strategizing to get economic gains or to increase our revenue from the sector, it goes beyond women just being the people that process that shell or, you know, do the quality check and all that. They should be involved in the strategic decisions that we make. We are going to explore all these, you know, ideas or topics in today's session. So before we go on to, you know, discuss further, I would like to invite my panelists here to make a short introductory statement. Yes, you've heard their profiles, but let us hear from them themselves. And I'd like to invite you first, Ms. Tham.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce myself. My name is Nguyen Thao, and I come from SD Cashew Company. And my company is established in 2014, which specializes in procurement field of cashew. We do both raw cashew nut and cashew kernel. And We do with many major and reputable customers all around the world. And we have extensive experiences and major information, so we can help to connect between the buyer and the seller. We can give them the consultancy to help them, so they have to help them in their business decision making effectively. So now our company is rated by customer as a leading and the most reputable company in the cashew brokerage field. Yeah, so I'm very happy today to be invited here to be a speaker to speak about the topic today of the Cashew Women section. So I hope we will have a fruitful discussion today. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'd invite you, Miss Cynthia.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Cynthia Niamoutie from Ivory Coast. I am a cashew processor. We have a factory installed in Abidjan where we process our ASEAN. We export about 98% of our volume, mainly to the US and the European market. We are BRC and HACCP certified. Our company was established in 2016 with the idea in mind to say that Ivory Coast is the #1 producer of raw cashew nut, but unfortunately all of that volume is mostly exported. So we saw that there was a need for a local, an Ivorian company to open and to be able to process at higher volume. So we have a factory of about 24,000 tons. So the idea was to kind of, add our foot into the mix. And like I said earlier, I'm a firm believer of Africa's potential to transform our raw material, because that's what the value added is. Exporting is great, but it doesn't make us rich. So we definitely have to be able to process a little bit more in our country. The technology exists, and it's just a matter of the will. So that's why we joined the business. So like she said, it's going to be very interesting to be able to talk about the after of what we do, because obviously I just process, and there's another market on the other side of selling, buying the kernel and consumption into supermarkets and things like that. And that's also for us the ultimate goal, to be able within the next 5 years to have product that can be on shelves as well and be able to capture their entire value chain. So thank you.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Marlyse Gakpa, Communication Officer for TechnoServe Prosper Cashew. Prosper Cashew is a 5-year, $30 million project executed by TechnoServe that is a leading non-profit organization that works to fight poverty by leveraging the power of the private sector. Prosper Cashew was launched in October 2020, thanks to a funding from the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, and its Food for Progress program. We work and strive to strengthen cashew processing industry in West Africa, and especially in Côte d'Ivoire, in Nigeria, and in Ghana. The Prosper Cashew project supports local cashew processors from those countries through providing state-of-the-art technical assistance support and also marketing and supply chain support. We also support local West African cashew processors through providing them facilitation service for investment, for unlocking new investment opportunities. Prosper Cashew project currently work with 30 cashew processing companies all throughout Côte d'Ivoire, Nigeria, and Ghana, amongst which 3 are women-owned. Of these 3 companies owned by women, we have Cilagri-Cajou, with that is head Mrs. Niamoutie here with us. And we are committed to supporting and to promoting the profiles of women leaders in the cashew industry. Regarding our activities as far as cashew consumption, to be truthful, Prosper Cashew is more oriented towards promoting exports. exporting the cashew kernels processed in Africa. So we are more geared towards international consumption, to the exception of Nigeria, because Nigeria has a big population and represents a really big potential to develop local consumption. So in Nigeria, we have efforts, we have developed a strategy that aims at promoting local consumption. I hope we'll be able to have the opportunity to discuss more and to give more details about these activities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank you to WCC for giving us a chance to be here on behalf of the women and with our role, to talk about the women in the cashew industry and to let everyone know that with the woman, what can we do in the fields and what can we influence other women in another fields. First, so I introduce a little bit about myself. My name is Mai. I'm currently representative of Carrol Nut in Vietnam. Carrol Nut is a roaster company in US, and my position in Vietnam is mainly focusing on sourcing the cashew kernel from Vietnam and ship to US. So my role is mainly as a connectivity, like I connect the supplier in Vietnam and to build a relationship with the supplier and control the quality of the products here to make sure that both the benefit of the supplier in Vietnam and the benefit of the company is always together. And the third activity that I do in Vietnam is to develop origin. Develop origins mean that everything in Vietnam, because my position is responsible for Vietnam, so everything news here like information, technologies, improvement, everything in Vietnam that I will share with our headquarters so that they can update the information there, and also with our company in US, we have any like demand from the customer, the supermarket, like the buyer, okay, they request for this one, 1, 2, 3, I need to raise it to the supplier in Vietnam so that they can keep up with the market trend. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, can we get the PowerPoint presentation up for our last panelist?
Providing high quality of Cambodian cashew nuts to the world. And today, I'll share how we can enhance the women in the cashew industry. So let's go back to, next slide please. So let's go back to the 2020s during the pandemic, where I'll visit my grandparents in Stung Treng province, who's also the cashew producers. You know, a week there, I witnessed, I noticed the challenges that the farmers were facing over there. There's something like unreasonable price fluctuations, the technical issues, and also the climate change. And then I realized that what I provide, what I contribute to societies with my own foundations called the Youth Charity for Kids Mouths that I found in 2018 during my high school years was not enough. Like, there's more people who need help. There's more people who need support from us, especially the cashew farmers for this topic. So to address this challenge, we established HCST, a family and women-owned company, with the aim to secure sustainable solutions for the farmers and their communities. So we start with only 8 employees, and then right now we have like 45 employees in 3 years, and 80% of them are women. And our core value revolves just around the 3 Qs. So the quality of life, the quality of products, and also the quality of environments. This value drive our commitment to make a positive impact to the communities, enhancing the well-being, delivering exceptional products, and also to protect the environment. We also focus on, next slide please. We also focus on the 8 of the UN SDGs, mainly focus on promoting local products and also enhancing the awareness and also prospering the vibrant rural economy's development and then encouraging the eco-friendly practice. Right now, we have empowered more than 1,200 of cashews producers through our comprehensive training programs. And we also support smallholders farmers, particularly women, youth, and marginalized groups with premium price, because we believe that it's essential to appreciate. It is very important to acknowledge those individual farmers who behind our food. Like everyone wants to have a high quality products, high quality food, but never one of us appreciate the farmers' work. Like they wake up at 5 a.m. just to do the plantations. So that's really important. And our commitment to sustainability is reflected in our practices, such as we use the solar energy systems and also our code of conduct, which for our supply and also for our farmers to enhance the deforestation-free and also the ethical practice. So right now, let's come back to women. Well, women actually encounter many challenges, not just in cashew industry, but also in every industry, such as the gender discriminations that happen everywhere, and also the limited educations and also the financial services, which hindering their potentials as the farmer and entrepreneur. So to uplift women, I think steps can be taken, such as providing educations and trainings, accessing to financial services or financial resources, addressing the cultural and social barriers, and also creating the supportive networks. And I believe that by taking these steps, we can empower more women, and we can let them invest in the business and also let them understand more about the business level. So, dear women, let's embrace our strength and our ability. And sometimes I really want to express my gratitude and that I really admire men who actively support women, who actively support gender equality. Just like my daddy, who has always been very advocative to me and my moms. And you see, as a family business, together we achieve greater things. So remember, there's no gender limitations in any job fields. So ladies, please dare to speak and aim for it. Thank you.
Thank you. So we've listened to our panelists. We know a little bit more about what drives them, what their passion, hovers around, and clearly that they have the technical aptitude, so to say, to address the various segments, the challenges of the various segments in which they find themselves. So we are now going to delve more into what our experiences have been with the domestic markets so far, what are the successes that we have achieved or chalked, what are maybe some of the challenges that we have had, and how have we navigated those. Because if we are going to increase local consumption, if we are going to expand local or domestic markets and diversify the current markets that we have, then of course we need to address some of these things or know about them so that then we know how to navigate them going forward. So I'll start with you, Ms. Tham. You are currently a sales executive for HD Cashews, right? Tell us about some of the products that you produce and some of the most patronized ones on the domestic markets. And in your opinion, why do you think they are so popular among your consumers?
Thank you for the question. Firstly, you see, we are a broker and we do international trade. We do brokerage for cashew kernel and raw cashew nut. So for the cashew kernel, we sell from the customer, the seller in Vietnam to many buyers all over the world. And our main customer can be from US, from Europe, and some other destinations, for example, like Australia and Russia. But I must say that the most customer, the mainly customer is from US and Europe. So you see for the domestic consumption is very less. And mostly we do for the selling to overseas customer. So to talk about the popular product that we are selling, you can see, for example, for the US and Europe buyer, they mostly buy for the grade like whole cashew and whole cashew, for example, WW180, WW240, and 320. You see, because these grades, they have some advantages, like they have white color, consistent about the taste, compared to other lower grade like SK, Scott whole. So you see the taste of the whole cashew is better. So that's a reason customer they like it better. And whole cashew also the product that the importer they buy they sell to the like the roaster and supermarket. They will do like for example roasting and sell like the product mix in some like the trail mixes. So and it's also used in some other purpose in the culinary application like salad, stir fries, for cooking, baking. Yeah, and another product also popular, which is grade called white split, small piece, large piece. That products for the price are lower than the whole cashew. So that one reason is for the cost effective. So the buyer normally they choose they prefer this grade. And you see beside concerning about the grade of cashew, buyer also concerned more and more about the food safety and the brand name of the seller. They will require more about the seller who is reputable, have brand name in the market, and for the seller they focus on the food safety and focus on the social responsibility, compliance. You see, for our customer, more and more they are asking us to find the seller who have like a reputable history in the business, and they comply with the social compliance, social responsibility, like they are BRC certified or they are SMETA audited. So they would prefer to choose that seller. So that's also one of the driving forces to push the seller to continuously maintain their quality, maintain their brand name, and invest more in the technology and focus and take care about the social responsibility, compliance, and a woman also one issue in that because they must take care about the woman in their factory. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tham. So we'll move on to you, Ms. Cynthia. You have chalked some really impressive or remarkable success with the company that you currently manage. And I understand that you process for the international market or different markets. Now, is the domestic market a part of, the markets or the target audiences that you work with? And by domestic, let's address it on a national and regional level. So not just in Côte d'Ivoire, but also regionally. Do you, serve these markets as well? What have been your experiences so far? Tell us about the successes, the challenges, and how you've addressed these so far.
So as I mentioned, we export 98% of our volume to the international market, meaning Europe and the US. So we have about 2% of our processed volume that stays, we'll say locally, so sold in Ivory Coast and also sold in Ghana in particular. And what I've understood is at the beginning in Ivory Coast, when we started doing what we call local sales, we had a lot of customers. And the reason was, because I was surprised, I said, okay, there's a lot of processors, why you guys were having such a hard time getting products? And the reason that I was told is most factories were not interested in selling just one box or 2 boxes and stuff like that. They wanted to sell containers. But the ladies, for example, at the market, which is one of our biggest volume, they can't sell a container. They will probably sell maybe 150 kilos every day. But at the end of the year, when you do the math, it's actually a good number that they can do. So that was a very good idea to start doing that. And it opened up a new window. So we ended up having almost all the ladies that sell at some of the market purchase from us. In Ghana also, we have few clients that purchase our kernels to do some roasting. The reason why they were buying from us is because, we, again, could sell smaller quantities. We do not require for it to be a container. So that was one of the advantages. The challenge with that is in terms of pricing. Because obviously, 98% of our volume is targeted toward the international market. So we price also the same way. But when it's purchased to be sold locally, they tend to need, cheaper prices, but still with the same quality. So we had to figure out ways to be able to lower the price for it to be accessible and for the people to be able to buy. So the first thing we started doing is using a different type of packaging. Because, for example, for us, cartons and pouches are about a big chunk of the price. So getting a carton of smaller grade, getting a different type of vacuum packing, because obviously they will sell it, they will repackage it into 1 kg bags and sell it. So if I can save on a pouch, so that's what we'll do. So we'll change the packaging, so be able to sell it to them with 11 kg boxes, and it's immediate use, so they don't really require to have hold long stock. So that was also one of the things that we were able to do to improve that part. Besides that, there's no big challenge into selling into local markets, because again, we are not selling a ready-to-eat product. When you get into the ready-to-eat product, then it becomes a little bit more complicated in our countries, in Ivory Coast especially, because most people do not know the product. It's also expensive to purchase. So it's like cocoa. You will see we are biggest producer of cocoa, and a lot of people have never tasted chocolate because of the cost, and because also that's not something we know. Peanuts has also a very, very big space, occupy a very big space into the eating habits, because it's cheaper and it's been around for the longest. So we are trying to also educate people to understand that, hey, you can also consume cashews, because cashews also have health benefits. That's a challenge a little bit, but it's something that some of my colleagues that do have a finished product ready to eat on the market are trying to do. Also, the CCA has several events where we promote also local consumptions to help. But I think the biggest challenge for that is the accessibility, making sure that the price is right, and also getting the product to be known for people to be more interested in and try to sell it.
Great, thank you. Maybe can we get a third mic here, because we are economizing on the mic here. Anyway, thanks a lot. That's very interesting. I think then you introduced let's say, the solution of being more cost efficient into your production line to address the challenge of, pricing and all that, which is really interesting. Thank you. Okay, so then the next question would go to Ms. Mai from Carrol. So far, we understand that Carrol has transformed ideas, right from the conception stage to like a really successful range of products, that are on different markets and are highly patronized. Now, one of the observations that we make is that, yes, on a daily basis, there are new products that are being developed, right, from the cashew kernel and also from the cashew apple, if I may just add that. However, some of these products don't make it to the market. They don't make it to market. And some do make it to market, but then they are not, patronized per se. Now, being in a company that has successfully introduced, new products or products that are not like traditional products onto the market and they are doing very well, what would you say that some of these new product developers are not doing right? What should they do better so that then their products appeal to, the target audience? Can you please help us with that? Thank you.
Thank you. How to start to answer this question? I'm thinking for Carrol nut, we are roasting nut in US, and this is quite different story because we are doing like roasting to supply for the other like supermarket. Mainly our customer is supermarket. Maybe like we work with the order, like we have the demand from the customer, okay, I need the cashew butter, cashew with honey, cashew with only plain roasted cashew. Like sometimes we got the order from the customer with a specific one. But for cashew right now, I see that there are lots of movement. Recently, especially in the last 2 or 3 years in my experience, before, like people say about only from Vietnam, we only export cashew kernel, the raw one, to other destinations like US, Europe for roasting. But now the trend is different. The trend is movement now that the supplier here in Vietnam, they create a lot of flavor. They do the cashew with honey, with pepper, with chilies, with mustard, with like and seasoning a lot of flavor too. So for the most like right now with a very competitive market, creativity is something very important for one business. Like the story of we need to try. Like even that I know some cashew roasted company that they do even try with like 100 flavor. Because we don't know how is exactly the demand of the consumer. Maybe they like this, they like that. So the more we try, the more creativity that we have, we bring maybe one product become champion. Like the story of 7-Up, it's not only like the success at the first trial, but even like after 6 fail, the 7 they success. So I think that with the cashew will be the same. More creativity, more like adventure will have the business successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mai. Really good one. Keep trying. After 6 fails, the 7th will succeed or might succeed. Thank you very much. So the next question will go to you, Ms. Gakpa. Your outfit works to empower women to a certain extent, support their entrepreneurial pursuits and the like, to build their capacities, right, so that then they can access markets. Now, I want to believe that some of these things have to do with cashew processing, right, and product development. Can you tell us more about what your experiences have been with these women, how you've been able to support them, and probably tell us if you think that even though women are pivotal to helping us boost consumption on our local markets, do you think that their potential is underused or underexploited, and how do you think we can, do better in bringing them in, for the sector's growth?
Thank you for the question. So, like I said, Prosper Cashew is currently working with 30 processors in Côte d'Ivoire, in Nigeria, and in Ghana. And 3 out of these 30 are women-led business. First of all, it's quite rare and quite difficult to find businesses, like cashew processing businesses that are large, because we have a certain size of companies we work with. So at this level, it's quite difficult to find women entrepreneurs. So one of the first things that we had to deal with was that cashew is really a male-dominated industry. So there is absolutely no policy, absolutely no environment, no aspect of the environment that is clearly designed to help women. So the first thing was to really identify these women, and for us, starting to communicate around them, like promoting these profiles. What are these women? What are they doing? How are they doing it? What does it feel like to be a woman a woman owner in the cashew industry, but also how does women leaders who work at managerial position in the cashew industry achieve what they did, and how women who are simply processing workers in a factory can one day hope to become manager. So we have been interacting with women on all these levels, and for women entrepreneurs, cashew processing factories owners, what we do is there is really no big difference. We are an equal opportunity partner. So we strive and bring as many opportunities to our male entrepreneurs as to our female entrepreneurs. But what we do is that since the number of female-owned business is so slow, we make sure to always involve at least one woman in anything that we do. At least one woman-led business, so that they are not overlooked. So for one of the actions that we do that can have an effect on local consumption or international consumption of cashew is an invitation of local cashew processors to participate in events. That can be industry events, like this one, for example, or other events, like, for example, in Côte d'Ivoire, we have various food industry-related events where we invite our various cashew business owners, and our women partners have really been able to take advantage of all these opportunities and make the most out of them. Also, among these women-led business, one of them actually came up with, some of them, I would not say one of them, but some of them came up with this great idea that was to adapt the context of consuming cashew to our local environment. Because, for example, in Europe or in Asia, they may have other major modes of consuming cashew. For example, they may prefer snacks. They may prefer broken kernels, for example, for pastry and all that. In Africa, the context is quite specific. Some of these industrials have been able to focus the designs and the visual elements and the communication around the products so that it rings a bell with the local consumers. For example, in Côte d'Ivoire, we have a local dish that we prepare, we cook with peanut butter. Okay, so it was easier to come towards a local population and say, okay, you usually prepare peanut butter and you like it. If you try it with cashew butter, it's even better, actually. So through this contact point, we were able to create a relationship with the local consumers in Côte d'Ivoire. And we are also, like Mrs. Niamoutie said, we are also encouraging processors to work on the pricing so that the local population can say, okay, this is something we can buy and we can consume.
Thank you, Ms. Gakpa. You know, speaking about adapting the products to local markets. I'd like to give this example. So for example, in Ghana, one of the things, of course, GIZ is known for is capacity building, right? Technical capacity building and the like. And one of the areas in which we recently built the capacity of women in a region of Ghana was to train them on cashew byproduct processing, specifically the cashew apple. Now, we're very strategic in the selection of our audience, right, or the beneficiaries of this training. We selected matrons or people that were cooking for high school students in boarding houses, chefs, and people that, you know, really influence our gastronomy, so to say, so that then these are people that would develop, you know, new products and then put them on the market, because sometimes people don't consume certain products or certain things because they don't know about it and because they don't know about the nutritional benefits. So once you're able to contextualize or, you know, to adapt it to what they are used to, then of course you can begin to get them into the, you know, conversation or getting their interest hyped in, you know, consuming these products. So really good point. And I think that brings me to the question of how, aside capacity building, aside, you know, giving exposure and all, how that women can be involved in more strategic decision making so that they are not always at the implementation end of policies or strategies that are developed, right? So two questions. One is, how do we get women into the conversation so that we are not making decisions for them with assumptions, but these are people that are into product development who influence our consumption to a large extent. How do we get their resource or their resourcefulness into making decisions that help us to expand our domestic markets with new products? That's one. And then the second is, how do we as women ourselves strategically position ourselves or make ourselves attractive enough, you know, to be called on when it comes to policy making or decision-making dialogue, because it's not enough to just, and excuse me for saying this, I might have a fight with a couple of people, but it's not just about saying that, oh, we should have 50% men and 50% women, that's gender representation, or that is good enough, you know, for getting the woman's voice into the conversation. It's also about what we bring to the table. You understand? So it's about we ourselves improving upon ourselves, making ourselves valuable enough so that then when there's a discussion, we can be called on. So the two questions are, how do we get women into the conversation, but how do we as women ourselves also make ourselves attractive enough to be called into these discussions or strategy development? So I would invite each of my panelists to, you know, address this. I would like to start with you, Ms. Cynthia, and then we'll go with you after that, Ms. Thao.
Thank you. So for me, representation is key. So representation is key. I repeat that a second time. It's very important for us women to make sure that we are represented in those kind of things. Every time I have a speaking engagement, I always finish, especially in Ivory Coast, by telling the youth that are in the room, being in a factory doesn't sound glamorous, but you get the job done. We have to teach our youth to be interested into those new areas, and then representation is key. Like she said, every time there's an event, making sure that there's a woman-led business that's represented there. So when we teach our youth that, hey, factories also have different jobs. Not everyone can be an accountant. Not everyone can be marketing, which is what you see in our countries. So representation is key, making sure that we speak up of the success stories that do exist, the women that are doing, it doesn't matter what the scale is, if it's small, if it's big. When those are represented, it can create momentum, and also the will into certain other people to say, oh, okay, well, if she's doing it, maybe I'm also able to do it. And when there's events internationally, not be afraid to come. You do not have to be in those events because you speak, but just to be there, network. It's important, meeting the right people so that you can create opportunities. So start with representation. Make sure that we represent young women, women in general in events, and show that, well, women-led business can be successful, and a woman can also be implemented very implicated in cashew processing. It's possible. It's heavy machinery and everything like that, but the strategy also is very important into those business. So I think those are the two important things.
You see, in Vietnam, I realized that women already take an important role in the cashew sector already. Like you can see, women take part in many sectors, many steps in the cashew value chain. Like the worker, they can be the owner of the processing factory. They can be the trader, broker like us. And you see, in Vietnam, we have one sentence that in Vietnam, woman is in cashew sector is a boss. Yeah. Our customer, they arrive to visit many factory, and they always wonder to ask us that, hey, why in Vietnam, every owner of the cashew factory, I see most of them are lady. Why? Yeah, so you can see in Vietnam, we realize that women, they play like a very important role. They already maybe because they have strength already. They are hardworking. They have some like special strength compared to men. I would say that they can take care about the family. They can both do good in business and also family work. Take care of children. They can do like multitasking job at the same time. So you see, in Vietnam, women they in most step in the value chain, we can see many women they are doing their job good. One reason is from themselves inside, and one reason I think must become from the government. They do good in the gender equality already. So women, they can have a chance to develop themselves, to take part in their job like freedomly. Yeah, so they can involve in the cashew sector more freedom. Yeah. So I hope that in other countries also can women can be also like one important part, same like in a woman in Vietnam. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So maybe I'll just also invite Ms. Sothnita, considering that Cambodia recently developed its policy document, right, and it's now beginning to go in a certain direction or decide the direction in which they should go for the growth of the sector and all. My question would be that it's about getting it right from the start, right? Yes, we have the strategic areas that they want to focus on, but in your opinion, how are women and youth being actively involved in the discussion from now, you know, so that then these issues that we are trying to discuss here can be addressed from the start?
Yeah, thank you for your questions. So, well, in Cambodia, if we're talking about the statistic, I couldn't like provide the data, but you know, I believe that this day the promotions of the inclusions like involving the women and youth in decisions making process becoming a positive trend globally, and in Cambodia, both governments, organizations, and development sectors, they often recognize the importance of diverse perspective and the importance, like the inclusions, different demographics groups to drive the innovative and also to sustainability. And women in Cambodia, from my observations right now, we can see that there's a lot of, the majority of Cambodians cashew processing are women, and also there's a lot of SMEs owned by women, and there's also other companies like managed by women, which is really good. And as not just representative from the Cambodians, the Cashew Cambodians, Association of Cambodians, but also the young generations, because I believe that there's no one here younger than me here. So, yeah, so as the young generations, I'm always inspire like the younger kids to take up leadership roles. I always encourage them to build up your educations, build your skill developments, your decisions making. Like always go to like other trainings programs, because the training programs will support your knowledge, your backgrounds, that will make you understand more about the business concepts, about the operations, about the innovative, will make you become a strong woman in the every industry overall. So that's how I always like encourage others, and it's not just me, but everyone, every generation try to encourage women like this in Cambodia. So we are working closely to promote, to empower women.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for spending time with us this afternoon. I believe we've already seen that clearly the domestic market still has a lot of room for improvement. We have the resources, with which to work or to benefit from, leverage on their knowledge, their experience, and their ideas as well to grow domestic consumption. So maybe we should begin to think more seriously about developing our local markets, and the government should also begin to think about how they can introduce measures that will help to expand our markets or our domestic markets. Thank you once again, and I hand over back to our moderator.
Well, thank you, and very beautifully summed up, Ms. Nunana. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, for the last 1 hour, you have seen the lovely women in the cashew industry, cashew value chain, displaying their soft power. But you can see that behind all that soft veneer, there's a lot of tough resolve and passion out there. With this, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to invite Madam from GIZ Move. Please join us on the stage. Firstly, to present a memento, each one of our speakers and our chair lady on the stage. We shall start with our first. Let's get all the mementos together. A big thank you going out to Ms. Nguyen's Company Limited. All right, a big thank you to Ms. Cynthia. Thank you, Ms. Phan Mai. Ladies and gentlemen, where's the applause? Can I hear it, please? A big thank you to Ms. Sothnita Soeun. So lovely to see the newer generation so passionate about cashew and, of course, the business itself. A big thank you to Ms. Marlyse Gakpa. And, of course, our chairperson for the session, Ms. Nunana Addo. So, ladies, as I request you all to step up, Madam Beate, may I ask you to please stay back on the stage? There is a special reason why I've invited you up here. Now, of course, apart from presenting the mementos to each one of our speakers, please come up close in the front for a group picture, first of all. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also taking this opportunity to launch the 5th edition of the much celebrated book. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the launch of Cashew Women. So just where you thought, where would you connect with this firepower once the conference is over? There is a book there, and it's time to unveil the book. This is the 5th edition of Cashew Women. Let's get the book up here, please. Madam Beate, may I ask you to please be in the middle and let them bring the book. Let's have the book up here. So is there a Cashew Women backdrop? Please change it to that. That's what he's saying. And we have this, the Global Cashew Women Entrepreneurs. Let's get the book up here. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to add a little bit of drama to this. Let's not make it so easy. You have to hand it to the lady in the middle, please. And as she takes up, as all the women get together unveiling this book, let's give them a countdown, everyone. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's unveil Cashew Women. Let's give one copy to everyone, ma'am. Ladies, let me have you holding this book together. All right. Now, this is such a beautiful moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely love the energy of the gentleman who's walked up front to click a picture. And I have a feeling what's coming up next, a lot of you guys will stand up. All right, of course, Miss Swapna. Can I have you holding the book, Swapna, please? Let's be with the women, please. You are the Cashew women of Eventel. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the woman in green. Can we have a round of applause for her? Please be on the stage here with me. You may keep your books and mementos on the table, but please be on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, there's still something more. Now I want to find out, before I announce what's next, how many men in the house are married? Can I see your hands up? How many men in the house are officially not married but have been married in heart 100 times? No, my point is, if you've ever been in a relationship with a woman, you do know what makes a woman the happiest. And no, it's a corporate conference, so I'm not cracking a double meaning joke. What makes a woman totally happy is a surprise gift. Is that right? How many of you have fallen into that trap? So everyone, the moment we talk about Cashew women, there is one special thing that we cannot miss. Celebrating the women in the house. So I invite all the women onto the stage for this very special moment. And as every year, this year again, Eventel has a specially designed bespoke gift for them. Just like last year in Dubai, we had specially printed stoles for everyone. This year, we've gone a step ahead, sourced from the sand dunes of Rajasthan. Ladies and gentlemen, pure leather, cashew-themed, embroidered messenger bags, so that tonight when you step out on the pub street, please make sure your dollars are in there. So everyone, requesting all the women in the house on the stage. I have some lovely friends. Do I have my friend Kalyan here? I had specifically requested her to be here this afternoon. All the ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, these are all the Cashew women in the house. Let's have all of you up here. Gifts due to women. Now just hold on. We have a lot of pictures and boomerangs happening. All right, ladies, are we ready? Let me see your bags out, everyone. All right, are we ready? Everyone, how many of girls are there on Instagram? Can I see your hands up? How many women on Instagram? Then we all know what an Instagram boomerang is, right? How many men on Instagram? Even if not on your original names, right? So whatever, guys, this is the time. Let's have a picture for all the girls. Can I have you in the middle? Everyone, the Eventel ladies. Let's have you in the middle, everyone. Are we ready? So at the count of 1, 2, 3, we hold out our bags and let's give a loud cheer out to women power. Now, I also want to get settled somewhere in the middle. Okay. Are we ready? At the count of 1, 2, 3, let's hear it for Cashew women in the house. 1, 2, 3. Make some noise, all the pretty ladies. Thank you. Okay, ladies, just to clarify to you, you're feeling something inside the bag. That is not money. That's the shoulder strap. Okay, we have a real video. May I have you back on the stage, ma'am? There is one more video. Okay. All right, thank you everyone. Let's hear it for this amazing session and the women. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a quick tea and coffee break. We have an amazing presentation other side of your tea and coffee break. You have 10 minutes by the clock. May I request you please bring your beverages in. It'll be nice if you bring your tea, coffee in so that we can start in time.